party, December 20th. Riverwind is OKC's favorite casino experience.
Attention equipment owners, selling your ag or construction assets doesn't have to be a hassle. Purple Wave Auction does all the heavy lifting for you. We're the full-service, no-reserve online auction experts. No need to haul your equipment. We come to you, photograph everything right where it sits, and showcase it to buyers nationwide. From listing to payment collection, let Purple Wave Auction simplify your selling experience. Register for free at purplewave.com.
When you're sick, you need to be seen by a health professional today, not next week. Norman Regional Urgent Care is here for you from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. Open 7 days a week at Porter Health Village in Norman and Monday through Friday in Westmore and Goldsby. No appointment needed, just walk right in. Whether it's a sudden illness or a minor injury, Norman Regional Urgent Care is ready to get you back on your feet today, not next week.
Hey Sooner fans, Caleb Kelly here for Mitchell's Jewelry. Choosing wedding bands is an important purchase, and when it was time, I was happy to find the team at Mitchell's Jewelry made it so easy. I had a great experience and was so glad to see their tremendous selection. They really listened to me, and I couldn't be happier with my choices. If you're looking for a jewelry store with top quality selection, competitive pricing, and the best customer service, go see the team at Mitchell's Jewelry. Check them out on your socials or visit them at 2201 West Main Street in Norman. Boomer Sooner.
Hey guys, it's TJ here for my friends over at Joe's Wines and Spirits. Football season is in full swing, and when you need a great selection of your favorite beer, wine, or liquor, do what I do and go see that great staff over at Joe's. They have tons of specials each month. Joe's is open Monday through Saturday, 10 a.m. to 9 p.m. and noon to 5 p.m. on Sunday. They're right here in Norman, 1330 East Alameda, or you can visit Joe's Wines on Facebook to catch all of those monthly specials. Hey sports fans, ever wonder what happens when your favorite tales collide? Step into the thrilling world of Into the Woods. It's not just a musical, it's an adventure where classic characters like Jack, Cinderella, and the Big Bad Wolf swing at their dreams, just like your favorite players on game day. Join us for Into the Woods, where the stakes are high and excitement is real. Get your tickets now and cheer for your favorites in a whole new way. Don't miss out. Catch the Sooner Magic on stage at the Sooner Theater October 25th through November 3rd. Did the recent storms damage your home and roof? Call All American Roofing today. All American Roofing has been repairing and replacing roofs for over 40 years and is a second-generation locally owned roofing company. They are also a Google guaranteed contractor and offer free inspections. Our roofers are GAF Master Elite contractors with a BBB A+ rating. Call All American Roofing today at 405-787-0400. All American Roofing, the best roofing company in Oklahoma. 405-787-0400.
Why did I wait so long to see a retina specialist?
Retinal disease can steal your eyesight, but it doesn't have to. Patients who seek care from a retina specialist have the best chance of preventing vision loss due to age-related macular degeneration or diabetic retinopathy. AMD symptoms to look out for are distortion or warping of straight lines, as well as blurred or loss of central vision. Patients with diabetic retinopathy should seek treatment if they notice the appearance of spots or floaters or blurred and distorted vision. Visit seeforalifetime.org.
The Ref Radio Sports Network is powered statewide by the insurance adjusters at Brown O'Haver. Fire, wind, theft, or tornado, we can help. Call 405-735-5510. Live from the Buffalo Wild Wing Studios, it's time to get locked in to the best Sooner recruiting and football news with Tyler McComas and Parker Thune.
You better lock it up. You better lock it up. No, you lock it up. You lock it up. Lock it up.
Hit the guys up on the Riverwind Casino call-in line at 405-329-9000. Text the show on the Knippelmeyer Chevrolet text line at 405-651-3439.
Do it! Just do it!
Now, with Locked In, here's Tyler McComas and Parker Thune.
Not much room for recruiting talk during yesterday's show. Talking about another home loss. Talking about the firing of an OC, talking about the elevation from one co-OC to the play caller, another guy's an analyst to the quarterback's coach / co-OC. Plenty of team notes yesterday and discussions on the future, what's going to happen at quarterback, everything else. But there is some recruiting news out there, and one that happened last night. Not surprising whatsoever. It was just when was the decision going to happen? You talk about no fanfare whatsoever. No sitting in front of a gym filled with his high school teammates or anything like that. Andrew Babalola, it's like he said, hey, let's just go ahead and put out the edit. I'm going to commit to the University of Michigan. And again, this hasn't been a surprising thing. I think we all thought since Michael Fasusi committed to OU, this is going to happen. But was our final clue that this was going to be the case when Bill Bedenbaugh started pursuing a JUCO offensive lineman? Was that our final sign that this was going to be the case?
They also get Austin Pay on campus for an official visit. That was kind of like, if that wasn't the white flag, if that wasn't the obvious white flag, I should say, you didn't. I just don't know whether you were paying close enough attention, because it was kind of always pretty clear that Pay was the guy that they would pursue devotedly. They had him on the radar, but they weren't really going to push for a guy like that until they got definitive word from Babalola. And I guess it was a week, maybe 10 days ago, things really started to crystallize in that sense. Oh, yeah, okay, Andrew Babalola is going to be a Michigan Wolverine. This is just about over.
Quote, I believe in Coach Moore's vision, end quote. And I don't have anything negative to say about Sherrone Moore. He's a former OU guy. I hope he does well. I just don't think it's going to ultimately end up well for him at Michigan.
You don't think so?
They just lost by 2 touchdowns at Illinois this weekend. What are they, on their 3rd quarterback now? The defense maybe isn't as special as they thought it was going to be early in the year. Maybe he'll get it turned around next year. I guess we'll see him and his Michigan team coming up in Norman next season, the non-con. I just, I think ultimately it's going to be a short stay up there in Ann Arbor for Sherrone Moore. Yeah,
look at that. Machine Gun McComas already firing Sherrone Moore.
First segment, already firing somebody. Big Ten job.
There was going to be a regression this year. I think everybody understood that. And there will be work to do to reshape that roster in the portal. You got to figure out the quarterback situation. If you don't get the quarterback situation figured out there at Michigan, you're not going to be able to succeed. But I think that's certainly something you can figure out. There will be available QBs in the portal this offseason. So we'll see what happens. Jury is very much still out on Sherrone Moore and probably will be for at least another year and a half or so. Now, as far as where Oklahoma goes from here, again, they hosted Austin Pay over the weekend. That's probably not the game you wanted a guy like that to see.
Oh, my gosh. I mean, either yes or absolutely no. I mean, probably you can't walk away from that being impressed.
Well, and what do we know about Austin Pay, Tyler? What are the other 2 schools in the mix?
BYU.
And?
Who is in it? Is Oregon the other one?
The University of Oregon.
Number 1 team and BYU's best team.
How many losses do those schools have between the 2 of them?
Oh, geez, 0.
0 losses. So.
Got any more questions? I'm here. I got till the top of the hour.
Don't get your hopes too high, folks.
Yeah. Well, hey, look, we're looking for good news. So when we get good news via the Knippelmeyer Chevrolet text line, I think we have to share such things when we get them. Congratulations to Sooner Bump. That was a real story yesterday. I was questioning the entire show. Is Sooner Bump being real, or is he just trying to be funny? He told us yesterday that took off the entire day so he could binge watch the 2000 season. And Sooner Bump is with us once again today and says, boys, I'm happy to report that we won the 2000 replay of games with a defensive performance for the ages. So Sooner Bump, a salute to you. Took the day off on Monday and apparently binge watched the entire 2000 championship season. I hope that's what the soul needed, Sooner Bump. Let us know your top 3 favorite games in order after watching that season back yesterday. Heck, maybe I need to take off tomorrow and do that. I don't know. That'd do a lot for me personally.
Maybe you can take off this Saturday and do it.
Not go to Ole Miss and not watch the game and just watch the 2000 season instead. That is a heck of an idea.
Tyler, Oklahoma is a 20-point underdog this weekend. I never thought at any point in my lifetime I would say those words.
Well, I mean, they've been, in the past 25 years, they've been big underdogs in spots. They were a big underdog to Texas this year. Did that get up to 17 at kickoff?
Yep.
They were a big underdog to Alabama in that Sugar Bowl game. Maybe that was around 18, I want to say.
Was it really that wide? I think.
Yeah.
I know, like the
it was big.
LSU in 2019, we kind of all knew going in that OU was going to get smoked.
Do you remember the number on that game?
It was 13.
Wow. Well, the point is I can't remember the last time since the beginning of the Stoops era that OU was a 20.5, 21-point underdog. Like, this is the biggest point spread that I can remember since 1999 in watching Oklahoma football. I don't think that they were this big of a dog to Bama in that Sugar Bowl game. They weren't to Texas this past year. They weren't to Texas in 2022. They've been a 21-point favorite their fair share of times. Definitely that has been the case. Cannot remember the last time point spreads-wise that they've been this big of an underdog. Wow. Sooner Shane in Springfield says, what does not kill you makes you stronger. And I hope that this season is doing that for us, just making us stronger somehow. And it's not tearing us down. It has been a long season. I relayed to the post-game crowd at O'Connell's, we've got 5 games left. And I saw some disappointed faces after I relayed to some individuals that we still got 5 regular season games left this season. But hopefully things will turn around. And if it does, it's going to be with Jackson Arnold at quarterback. I wasn't shocked at all to hear that last night, that Jackson Arnold will be the starting quarterback at Ole Miss on Saturday. And, hey, man, like the next 5 games, like OU's not really playing for a whole lot outside of hoping that they get to 6 wins and get a bowl game. But, man, are you not fascinated to see what happens at quarterback the final 5 games of the year? Because that, in a lot of ways, whatever happens there is really going to kind of tell the tale, I think, of who you move forward with in 2025 as QB1, if you're not able to keep both.
You think by the week of the LSU game, Brent's going to be sitting up there at his press conference going, yeah, going forward this weekend, we feel like Steele Wassel is the guy that gives us the best chance.
Let's roll, Steele. Let's go. Let's do it.
Man. And look, with Finley calling the plays, it makes sense. And it makes sense given what happened last Saturday that you're going with Jackson Arnold moving forward. But it's going to be so hard for whoever is playing quarterback in this offense to have any type of objective success. It's just such a hard situation right now. Borderline impossible situation.
Yeah.
And now, I will say this. We talked about it a bit last hour. What you would hope is that with Finley calling the plays now and you have a bit of a changing of the guard, that you can start scheming guys open again. Because that is one thing that we have not seen any of for Oklahoma this year. At no point have they schemed guys open.
No, they haven't, and I don't know if it's necessarily like these particular plays, which I can count on one hand, by the way, they're necessarily schemed open, or Brennan Thompson just beats a guy by half of a step, or J.J. Hester has a half of a step on someone, but you fault the offensive coordinator for that, the inability to scheme someone open. But there have been times where OU's had someone open down the field, and they're not able to execute and get that wide receiver the ball down the field. Whether it's Brennan Thompson at Auburn has a step and you just miss him and you throw the ball out of bounds. Whether it was J.J. Hester, that first drive against Texas, after the turnover, you have him open in the end zone at least a little bit and you miss him there. So, yeah, they haven't done a great job of scheming guys open, and it hasn't been great execution as well. They've more than anything, and there's a lot of things that they have to do better, but Parker, come on, man. More than anything, they have to find some sort of a run game moving forward if you want to stand any chance at all throughout the rest of the SEC slate. You cannot continue to live and expect to win another SEC game with 1.3 yards per carry like you had on Saturday. 53 rush yards on 41 carries. Dude, that's going to get one of these quarterbacks killed at some points. I mean, that's more than anything, and there's a lot of things that have to change, but more than anything, that has to change. I don't know if it's going to.
I'm frankly shocked that it hasn't gotten one of the quarterbacks killed already. When you think back to how many shots Michael Hawkins took, when you think back to how many shots Jackson Arnold has taken over the course of the season, if you were playing EA Sports College Football 25, Tyler, both of those guys would have the red icon.
Oh, yeah.
Risk of injury, high, severe.
Well, it looked like remember when they were previewing the release of the game last summer? And it felt like every single clip was Jackson Arnold getting destroyed by someone. And it was like,
boy,
hey, there's wear and tear on your quarterback this season if you continue to get him hit. And they're showing Jackson Arnold with like a shoulder injury. I'm like, God.
They knew something.
I was like, thank you that the game's coming back, but can we show someone else other than Jackson Arnold getting hit? EA Sports knew. EA Sports knew the entire time. You got to give it up to him.
Big Rick in Owasso said, 20-point dog? What about the final 55 minutes?
Oh my gosh, seriously. Can we just play it even after the first 5 minutes? Please, man. I'm not asking for a lot, but can I be sitting there in Vaught Hemingway Stadium on Saturday at about 11:10, 11:15 and not say, well, this game's already over and it's a 3-score game before we get to 10 minutes in the first quarter? Can we at least have that? I'd like to have a better showing in the first quarter, please. One-star Jay in Tulsa says, hey, guys, considering the situations, what are the odds Jackson Arnold is starting for Ole Miss against Oklahoma next year? I would guess right now, and this is purely a guess. I mean, he's your starting quarterback today. I'm going to guess Jackson Arnold's your starting quarterback, or at least on the roster for Oklahoma next year.
Really?
Yeah, that's purely a guess, and that could easily change in a week's time. But for today, I'd say it's more likely that he's on OU's roster than Ole Miss's roster.
And Ole Miss still has Walker Howard, don't they?
He transferred from LSU this past offseason. Sure.
Yeah, so they got Walker Howard. They got a couple other guys in that QB room as well. So I don't know if there's going to be an immediate need for Ole Miss to go grab a portal guy at QB. There will be a need for other programs. Notre Dame, looking at you. Michigan, definitely looking at you. There will be big-time programs that need a portal quarterback. Let's see what else we have here on the text line. Patrick at the Mont says, 20-point spread. We got him right where we want him.
Patrick. Patrick, you bringing swirls to Oxford on Saturday? Let a guy know. Let someone know. You'll be the star down there if that's the case. Sooner Shane in Springfield. The first play of the game was schemed open. Remember, he was wide open. You talking about the one on Saturday that ended up in an interception? Yeah, not great.
Puerto Rican Sooner points out, well, if it's already over after 5 minutes on Saturday, you can just head down to the Grove and get plastered.
Hey, now we're talking. Numb myself for all Saturday after having to watch this. So what's your early week thoughts on this game on Saturday? You giving OU a chance whatsoever to even keep it close?
Frankly, Tyler, I would take Ole Miss in the points right now.
Ole Miss minus 20.5. You're ready to just get after it.
I mean, is anybody going to tell me I'm wrong? I feel like we're all kind of on the same page here.
They've scored.
It might get ugly this weekend.
They've scored one second-half touchdown in SEC play this year, which is interesting. Talking about Ole Miss. Now, I think the only SEC games they've played, Kentucky, they've played LSU, and they've played who else they play? Kentucky, LSU, and South Carolina. I think they've only played 3 SEC games, but still interesting. An offense that's supposed to be so high-powered and was in the non-conference hasn't exactly been the offense that's been putting up 45 and 50 points a game in SEC play. All that to say, just don't turn the freaking ball over. Don't do it, please. I mean, you're going to have to do more than that to win this game, but, God, just don't hand it to them on Saturday. But my expectations aren't super high either going into this game on Saturday.
Alex from Manford says, Damian Mackey said either on the OU Insider podcast or the Barry and Mack show that he has a buddy on the Ole Miss coaching staff, and the word behind the scenes there is Kiffin is on his way to Gainesville after this year's shocker. Yeah, I would bet good money on Lane Kiffin being the next head coach at the University of Florida.
How about Billy Napier, though? He's still eking out some wins. He's going to get fired. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, that's already a done decision, all of that. But it's like, Billy's kind of – who did he beat? Kentucky this past weekend? By a pretty decent margin, I believe.
Throttled Kentucky. The same Kentucky team that beat Ole Miss in the SIP. So that's the nature of the SEC right now. Anybody can beat anybody.
You're playing spoiler at
Even
this point.
Vanderbilt.
And I got to tell you, this season is it's taken some years off my life, but it would be fun to essentially end Ole Miss's season on Saturday because that's what you could do. Ole Miss has to win out to make the college football playoff, at least I think. You could end Ole Miss's season on Saturday. I don't harbor any hate towards the Ole Miss Rebels, but I'll find some on Saturday. I'll dang sure find some on Saturday before 11 a.m., and it would be fun. It would be a lot of fun to essentially a football team that was really put together by the portal this offseason to go ahead and come crashing down on their home field on Saturday.
The problem is they have a really good defensive line, which means
– yeah, they do.
It's going to be a long day for that offense if they don't figure out a way to get the ball out quick and use the quick game effectively, use the screen game effectively. Jackson Arnold is not going to have time in the pocket on a consistent basis. So whatever happens is going to happen quick for this offense.
Thank you for not wearing your red Van Hoos fence polo today. I've got my blue one on. We look like a couple of Ole Miss frat boys if you wore that today.
Shoot,
so
that's
let's not wear them on camera at the same time. People get mixed signals on, what's going on this week.
Okay, as long as you're repping the good folks at Van Hoos Fence, I can rep the island of Crete.
405-651-3439. Knippelmeyer Chevrolet text line. We'll get into more recruiting, what's going on with this team, what to expect on Saturday moving forward as well. Keep it locked on the Ref. We're the home of Sooner fans.
The word is spreading, and the Ref Army is growing. Keep telling your friends and family that there's only one station for true Sooner fans, and that's the Ref Radio Sports Network, and worldwide on the KREF app.
A happy place comes in many colors. One that leaves you feeling refreshed. Something that gets you all fired up. Or gives you the space to chill. Whatever your color, bring happiness home with CertaPro Painters and make your happy place your home. CertaPro Painters, that's painting happy. Get started today at CertaPro.com. Each CertaPro Painters business is independently owned and operated. Contractor license and registration information is available at CertaPro.com.
Hey Sooner fans, Kinsey Hansen here to tell you about my friends at the Affordable Door Company. Their fast, reliable, and professional staff have been serving the OKC Metro for over 28 years. Affordable Door Company is your one-stop shop for residential and commercial garage door service and replacement. Call them and tell them you want the ultimate maintenance for your garage door. You don't want to be stuck in your garage at game time, so give them a call at 405-635-9499 or visit them online at affordabledoor.net. You can't afford not to call Affordable Door Company, proud garage door sponsor of the Sooners.
Get ready for a month of scares at Heyday. Try our Halloween-themed drinks or enter to win our digital costume contest. Looking to up the fright factor? Check out Heyday After Dark. Play thrilling zombie laser tag and enjoy our haunted happy hour every Friday and Saturday from 9 p.m. to close. It's time to get in the spooky spirit the Heyday way.
It's a transfer portal. It's out of control.
The Sooners aren't the only team in Norman killing it in the transfer portal. Bob Stoops.
Because you think you know your team, but you need to see it.
Dusty Dvorak.
I thought that was by design.
Brian Bosworth.
Who wants to wear burnt orange? There's nothing in the closet that goes with anything orange, burnt or otherwise.
The Ref continues to prove this is the home of Sooner fans. The Ref is SEC ready. Are you?
The Ref Sports Radio Network.
Hi, I'm Barry Switzer. We have a very important Senate race here in the Sooner Nation, and I'm encouraging you to go out Tuesday and vote for my friend Lisa Standridge. We need a bold and strong leader with true class, and most importantly, Lisa is Sooner born and Sooner bred. Join me and elect a champion. Vote for Lisa Standridge for State Senate.
Vote Lisa Standridge on Tuesday, November 5th, paid for by Lisa Standridge for State Senate 2024.
Hi, this is Lisa Talley, broker and owner of Aria Real Estate Group. Aria Real Estate Group is Norman's premier full-service commercial and residential real estate brokerage and leasing and management firm. With our team of real estate agents, specialized property managers, and in-house maintenance team, Aria is here for you in every capacity. Whether you're a seller, a buyer, an investor, or a renter, we can help. Please explore our website at ariagroupok.com. Aria Real Estate Group, the gold standard of real estate.
Don't you wish your life came with a warning app?
Stop. That dog does not want to be petted.
A heads up before something bad happens.
You should not send that text.
Uh-oh. Life doesn't always give you time to change the outcome, but prediabetes does. With early diagnosis and a few healthy changes, you can reverse prediabetes and prevent or delay type 2 diabetes. To learn your risk, take the 1-minute test today at doihaveprediabetes.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and its prediabetes awareness partners.
We all have someone we love, like the favorite lyric in our favorite song. You can't imagine life without them. Cancer screening tests can help keep the person you love around longer by detecting changes before cancer develops, or catch it early when it may be easier to treat. And many tests are available for free or are covered by insurance. It's time to sound like a broken record. Tell all your friends and family, I love you. Get screened. Visit cancer.org/getscreened to learn more.
Locked in with McComas and Thune, live on the ref for the home of Sooner fans. I think we just made $20 during the break.
Did we really?
If we could do that every single break, if we could make 20 doll hairs during every single break, that'd make me happy. I don't know if there's going to be a split going on with management on Super Chats or what, but KW of Billings Solar Roofing, I believe, sent in two $10 Super Chats during the break.
Ooh, what did he say?
Thank you guys for providing us Sooner fans with the platform to voice our thoughts by engaging with you all and each other via the KREF text line. People like Cherokee, Sean, Blue Whale, LaDonna, Roger, Randy, Doug, Big Rich, and Big Rick, and too many others to name on a Super Chat still manage to make it fun, even when it's not where any of us want it to be. What binds us together is a love for OU.
Amen to that.
That was well said, and $20. What's up?
Listener of the day?
Thank you. Oh, of the month, of the year so
whoa,
far.
Whoa. Hang on.
Hey,
hang on.
I will sell. I'll go a long way. Say a lot of things for that. No, seriously, KW of Billings Solar Roofing. I appreciate the couple of Super Chats there. Go subscribe to our channel, KREF Sports. You can watch this show live every single day from 2 to 3 p.m.
Jeff from OKC chiming in on the text line, which, again, if you want to chime in on the text line, 405-651-3439 is where you do it. And as KW mentioned, it is an awesome resource for all of you to interact with us and with each other. Jeff from OKC on the text line said, hot, positive, and slightly delusional take. J.A. earned his F back on Saturday.
What's he got to do to earn his F back on Saturday? Does he have to win, or can he just have a very solid effort?
Oh, I guess I misread it. Jeff said he earns his F back on Saturday, as in he's going to, not that he already did.
That's what I'm saying. What does he have to do on Saturday?
He has to beat Ole Miss.
Got to beat Ole Miss. That's what he's got to do.
Has to win the football game.
Hey, Billy Bowman and Jackson Dart finally get to match up with one another.
That's right. After the Twitter barbs.
Come on, Billy. Take one back to the house. You're going to need one.
You'd hope so, because, listen, the last time Billy talked noise, it did not end well.
Yeah, let's not have a redo of that one, please. Mississippi Pot Roast says, by the way, Mississippi Pot Roast, where are you going to be on Saturday? It is a Nebraska phone number, but maybe you'll still be there. I don't know. You forgot to mention that Caleb Burns didn't show up for his visit after the Oregon visit as well.
Yeah, but throw this in the pile of things I don't understand right now. OU offered Caleb Burns, was trending well, and then just kind of stopped pushing. It's a weird situation.
That is a weird situation
because
it looked all but like a given that, well, he's definitely not a Baylor commit. I mean, he may not go to OU. I mean, it looks like he's going to go to OU, but if it's not OU, it's not going to be Baylor. It's going to be Ole Miss or Oregon or someone else. So I guess we should tune out of that recruitment then? Does it look like Oregon's going to be the move for him?
Don't tune out. I would not tune out. That's still a long way from being decided. And Oklahoma's still in it. They're not doing as much as they could be doing right now. If they start pressing and they get him on campus, he's still supposed to take an OV next month for the Alabama game. If that happens, then yes, I would still consider Oklahoma to be the school that is best positioned based on the fit and based on the geography. I don't think it's over with Caleb Burns by any stretch, but OU has to invest a little bit more effort right now than they have been.
Over-under, by the way. What are we, about 6 weeks out until signing day? Right around there, 6 weeks, I think?
7 weeks.
1.5 is the over-under. 1.5. Over-under on commits for the 2020 new commits for the 2025 class.
I'm going to take the over.
Ooh.
I think there will be an additional couple of commits. I don't know who they might be, but I think Oklahoma is going to continue to make some late evals. They offered a JUCO kid yesterday. It might be a kid like that they decide, okay, we're going to make as of right now, I still think Caleb Burns winds up in the class. If you ask me to predict where Caleb Burns signs, I'm still saying Oklahoma. So beyond Caleb Burns, you only need one more to hit the over. And could it be a guy like Jaden Wen, the recently offered offensive lineman from the JUCO ranks? Could absolutely be. But, yeah, I would take the over there.
And two, they're not discussing it today, but in the back of their mind, whether it's the head coach or position coaches, there could absolutely and there will be some processing that goes on, depending on what's happened up to this point and what happens the back half of the season. So I wouldn't be shocked if maybe this staff is really kind of trying to find some late evals, like you're saying, to get some late ads into this class. What about on decommits from now until signing day? Is the right over under 0.5? I feel like that's where I would be. I mean, Cortez Mills, probably who you're worried about the most.
I would also have that at 1.5.
You'd have that at 1.5. All right. So you think at least one decommit?
I think they lose somebody. I don't know who. Like, there are some candidates that are certainly more likely than the others. Like, you're not losing a guy like Marcus Wimberly, but you absolutely could use Cortez Mills or lose Cortez Mills. Excuse me. And then beyond that, there's so much that could change if you have anything more of a staff shakeup come late November, early December. So, yes, I think the over-under on both should be 1.5.
Spence and Tulsa, Tyler, $20 is $20 McComas. No lies detected there, Spence. No lies whatsoever.
Somebody in the 405 asked, thoughts on G.J. Kinney as a potential OC? That is not happening.
He's a head coach. He's got it. What's their record right now? Do they have just the one loss to – he's at Texas State,
he's
correct?
At Texas State.
And I know they lost to Arizona State earlier.
I think that is their only loss.
Yeah.
So they kind of got it cooking.
He's going to get he'll get a better head coaching job in the next couple of years.
I would be stunned if G.J. Kinney is not the next head coach at Baylor University.
Yeah, that's probably a pretty good bet. There's really not – I'm just trying to think back. There's not a ton of head coaches that are at the Division I level that end up taking an OC job somewhere else. I guess Chip Kelly did it. I think Chip Kelly just didn't like being a head coach at today's age. And
he knew it was coming, too.
Yeah, he knew it was coming. I guess, who was the guy? Sean Lewis was the head coach at Kent State and ended up being the OC at Colorado and got relieved of his duties, actually, halfway through the year last year. But I feel like most guys, especially young guys, a younger guy like G.J. Kinney, they got a head coaching job somewhere, and there's an upward trajectory. They're not really going to go take an OC job somewhere. And I wouldn't be shocked this offseason if he gets a better gig than what he's got right now.
Yeah, if his program is struggling or was struggling, it's a different conversation. But with as much as he is winning down there in San Marcos right now, he is due for a big-time head coaching job. Well, I say big. I'm not talking like blue blood, but obviously a school like Baylor is going to come knocking here in the next month or so.
William the Innkeeper says, what about Matt Wells as offensive coordinator? I haven't heard not a ton of smoke right now on we got a ways to go until this hire is final, but just not hearing a whole lot about Matt Wells up to this point.
I haven't heard a lot either, but I wouldn't hate that hire. Trouble is, you really have to, if you're in Brent Venables' shoes, you are really admitting a mistake at that point, because what you're saying is you promoted the wrong analyst last year.
Sure.
Because Matt Wells could have been your OC. He could have been. And you went with Seth Luttrell instead. And to be fair, it made sense at the time. I followed the logic. I think a lot of people followed the logic. But, boy, was it disastrous. I was sitting there this morning thinking, Tyler, how many times do you think that has happened before in the history of college football, where after 8 games, an offensive coordinator is already fired?
I told you yesterday, in my lifetime, the only coordinator I can remember getting fired, like not even, hey, we're going to take away these responsibilities from you, but you're going to stay on staff, straight up fired during the middle of the season, is Seth Luttrell and Mike Stoops. But Mike Stoops was here a lot longer than Seth Luttrell was as a coordinator. So, but you're talking about in all of, Power 4, Power 5 college football, there's not very many, man. There's not very many guys where that's been the case. I guess was last year Sean Lewis's first year at Colorado. I just mentioned him a couple of minutes ago. He was at Kent State in 2022,
so Colorado last year, and now he's the head coach at San Diego State.
Yeah. Russ in Atlanta says, did we say an offensive lineman named Jacob Wynn? Don't those people grow to 5'4"? Okay, Russ, really? Someone asking yesterday if it related to former Texas A&M linebacker and Dallas Cowboy linebacker Dat Wynn.
That I don't know, but his name is Jaden Wynn, and I think he's like 6'4", 305, so big boy.
How we feeling on Brennan Marion, says a texter from the 785. Pretty split, wouldn't you say, across the board on how people feel about Brennan Marion?
He's the most polarizing candidate
He's
right
either, hey, I love the go-go offense. He's a young up-and-comer. He'll get the offense going. Let's go. Brennan Marion is my number one target at OC. Or it's, no, his offense is too gimmicky. His offense doesn't throw the ball well enough. Like, yeah, they score, but it's not good enough in the passing game. He is easily, man, like you said, he is easily the candidate where it's more split than anyone else. Either you love him and you think he's the best option, or you don't like that at all and think it's a gimmicky offense and you want to go somewhere else.
Yeah. And look, I like the go-go because the go-go works, and you can make the argument, well, they're scoring on a bunch of nobody. That program won 2 non-conference games versus Power 5 opponents and ended up in the AP Top 25 for the first time in the history of their program as an FBS competitor. So, I think the Brennan Marion offense would work in the SEC. How long would it work? That I don't know. But I don't think you would need it to work all that long, Tyler, because best case scenario, if you've got a defensive-minded head coach like Brent Venables, you don't want your offensive coordinators there for more than 2 or 3 years at a time. Because if they're there longer than that, that probably means you've plateaued offensively, and that guy just isn't in high demand elsewhere.
Down South Sooner fan says, go pick up Jason Witten. Coaching a little high school football right now in, where's that, Argyle, Texas is where he's currently at. His son is a really good 2026 commit.
Yeah,
we'll probably get him, but yeah, I don't think Jason Witten.
People are asking about Dean Kennedy at James Madison, and as I understand it, I would have to fact check myself on this. I'm pretty sure this is Dean Kennedy's first year calling plays at the FBS level, and people saw James Madison score 70 points on North Carolina, and they were like, "Oh, give me some of that." But James Madison has not had nearly as much success as of late. They've lost 2 of their last 3, and the final scores of those 2 losses were 21-19 to General Booty and Louisiana Monroe, and 28-14 to Georgia Southern. So I don't know if the Dean Kennedy idea is as desirable as it once was.
Well, we did have a couple of questions to Brent today at the press conference, kind of, about the offensive coordinator hire that's going to happen very soon. And a couple of things stood out. I don't know if either one was surprising. The first one was, hey, Brent, do you have like a list of names that you always, keep down for coordinator hires? And essentially he said, yeah, I watch college football. I know what's going on. So essentially he said, yes, there's some names that I have on a short list.
Yeah.
Via written down on a piece of paper or mentally that I have noticed throughout the sports.
Here's a really funny, interesting question from Zach in the 405. Who is at James Madison in 22 and 23? A fella by the name of Mike Shanahan.
Oh, yeah?
Who's now at Indiana.
Yep.
In charge of the highest scoring offense in the country. So
I think that's number
James
one for
Madison,
me.
If you like James Madison in 22 and 23, and you like what Indiana's doing that program's 7-0, Tyler. The University of Indiana Bloomington is 7-0 in the sport of football and ranked higher than the Alabama Crimson Tide.
Yep.
Undeniably, what Curt Cignetti and Mike Shanahan are doing is remarkable, is putting it mildly. I'll say that. And look, if Oklahoma at any point in the next, 5 years is in the market for a new head coach, Curt Cignetti would be one of my absolute first calls, if not the first call, because that dude, and he said it when he got hired at Indiana,
Purdue sucks! Oh, you're
well,
talking
not
about
that.
something else? Okay.
You remember what he said? He said, Google me. I win.
I was hoping
and
you'd
he
say
does.
Purdue sucks, and so does Michigan and Ohio State at the halftime of the Indiana basketball game last year. Amazing. Also, Brent said today he does not care. He could care less about OU ties. It doesn't matter to him at all when asked about hiring someone with Oklahoma ties as the OC.
You know what's really funny
and
to
I'm
me?
glad he said that. That was good that he said that. Nice job, Brent.
You know what's really funny to me is a guy that gets thrown around, whose name gets thrown around in this conversation, is Dirk Cutter from Boise State.
What?
I've seen a lot of people bring up Dirk Cutter. Like, trust me, I lived the Dirk Cutter experience. He was the head coach of my Tampa Bay Buccaneers for 3 seasons. The only reason you're bringing up Dirk Cutter's name is because of Ashton Genty. Let's get that clear.
Yeah.
If Ashton Genty does not exist, no one is saying Dirk Cutter's name.
Wasn't he like the head coach at Arizona State in the early 2000s, early mid-2000s? I feel like he was he up for the Oklahoma State job? Like 25? Was he, text line, was he up for like the Oklahoma State job after Bob Simmons left Oklahoma State?
Yes, your recollection is correct. At one point, he was up for the Oklahoma State job.
Les Miles got it instead, I want to say.
Yeah, I believe that's correct. CJ Sooner in Florida said, Kurt Cignetti is 63. No thanks. Wow, we're old shaming.
Not 7-0 shaming in Indiana, I can tell you that.
That's what I'm saying. Like, when people are like, no, he's too old. Not enough passing. Like, people were like, Brennan Marion's offense is 115th in passing. I'm like, they're 5th in scoring. What do you want? You want an offense that puts up insane numbers of passing yards? If so, go watch USC. If you want an offense that scores points and wins football games, you go hire somebody like Brennan Marion.
Yeah.
Doesn't have to be Brennan Marion, but what you want, I think the only thing that really matters at this point is that whoever you hire puts together an offense that puts points on the board.
405-651-3439. Everyone's got their own favorite as the next offensive coordinator for Oklahoma. We'll get back to the text line. More OU football next, right here on The Ref.
Hey, this is Luke Elzinga, and you're listening to The Ref, the home of Sooner fans.
Give Hell the Bird with Mallard Construction and Roofing. Mallard Construction and Roofing is your full-service residential roofing and restoration company. Family owned and operated, Mallard wants to make a difference in every aspect of the process from bidding to completion of the job. As 2023 Reader's Choice Awards Best Roofer, we have all the tools necessary to make your job successful. Give Hell the Bird today and call Mallard Construction and Roofing at 405-364-4501 for your free quote.
Also, schedule a roof inspection today with Mallard and enter their Jeep giveaway contest.
It's Bananas, the new Chick-fil-A banana pudding milkshake. Real bananas and vanilla wafer cookie crumbles blended into cold, creamy ice cream desserts. Whether you order in or order delivery, at the 12th Avenue Chick-fil-A in Norman, it would be our pleasure to serve you and help with team meals, nugget trays, sandwich trays, mac and cheese, and more. We've got you covered. Call the 12th Avenue Chick-fil-A at 405-310-3189 or use the Chick-fil-A One app. And remember to eat more chicken.
Have you or someone you know suffered a loss to your home or business from the recent storms? Before you accept a settlement, call Brown O'Haver at 405-735-5510. Brown O'Haver is a local-based company helping Oklahomans with claims since 1988 with preparation and expert analysis detailing your loss and insurance settlement. As your trusted consultant, Brown O'Haver can give you peace of mind and make sure you're getting what's yours. Call Brown O'Haver today, 405-735-5510, and make sure they're working for you. This is Toby Rowland. Did you know that more than 80 million people depend on AM radio each month for news, weather, and emergency information? A new bill in Congress would make sure AM radio remains in cars because when cell and internet services go down, this far-reaching free service may be your only lifeline. Text AM to 52886 and tell Congress to support the AM Radio for Every Vehicle Act. This message is brought to you by the National Association of Broadcasters and this station. Messaging and data rates may apply.
Auto Image USA, Central Oklahoma, and Norman's home for the best in car, boat, and RV detailing. Let Mike Miller and his gang help you out with one of their many services, plus roll and lock truck covers, window tinting, custom wheels and rims detailing, and paint correction. Auto Image USA also carries the best brands in audio such as Kicker, Wet Sound, Pioneer, and Sony. Call Auto Image USA at 405-321-4444 or go by and see one of their experts at 2701 Northwest 36th Avenue in Norman between Rock Creek and Tecumseh.
Needing some electrical upgrades around your house? Don't do it yourself. Instead, trust the experts at Wade Electric. Wade Electric has been family-owned and operated for over 50 years and is committed to the highest level of service and safety. Whether it's a remodel or new construction, our qualified installers can help. Service changes, LED lights, security or ambiance lighting, electric car chargers, or backup generators, we do it all. Leave it to the experts at Wade Electric. Call 405-329-1940 to speak with one of our trusted professionals today.
Would you like to play a more active role in your health? At Hightower Clinical, we believe all Oklahomans should have access to new potential treatment options through clinical trial participation. Our team wants to support you with the best care possible through clinical trials. No health insurance is required. Compensation is available for eligible study participants, and study care is provided at no cost.
Having the chance to go through a trial and find out if something works for them and makes their life easier, I would recommend them do it.
To learn more, scan this QR code and visit our website.
Hey Sooners, I'm OU alum and Board Street Ventures founder James Spann. The Sooners season is underway, which means it's time for the Boyd Street Ventures Under the Radar Player of the Game. It's time for you to consider investing in BSV. Our portfolio has 16 innovative, under-the-radar, Oklahoma-connected companies. If you want in, the sooner the better, as our fund closes December 31st. Check out our portfolio at BoydStreetVentures.com. Boyd Street Ventures, under the radar, above the crowd.
Dorsey Jones Buick GMC in El Reno. Bringing this hour of Locked In with McComas and Thune. Dorsey Jones is family owned and operated. Established in 2020, but many of their employees have been there for more than 20 years. They sell Buicks and GMCs, which are some of the best trucks and SUVs on the road. That's Dorsey Jones Buick GMC in El Reno. I'm going to bring you back to one of our shows during the summer on a random summer Friday.
Okay.
Now, the text line is a huge part of this show. I think anyone who's ever listened to it knows that. And yes, there have been many, many individuals, you and I included, who have had some, text on the text line saying some not so great things, right? Do you recall, though, a conversation that we had this summer on a random summer Friday about not a person but a place that got ripped to shreds like nothing ever has before on the Knippelmeyer Chevrolet text line? Hint, we're going there on Friday. Remember when Memphis, there was like 30
Tennessee.
Minutes on the show?
Of just Memphis getting roasted.
Gosh, no one had one nice thing to say about Memphis. Nothing has ever been roasted on the show quite like Memphis on random Friday.
And now, continue listening as Tyler tries to convince you to show up to Memphis
Come
on
up to
Friday.
Rendezvous on Friday as I do the show from 2 to 6 p.m. Come by and say hello. That's where the majority of
That's Rendezvous in Memphis, Tennessee, to be clear.
Yep. Hey, maybe if you're in the right area of town, it's a great place. I don't know. I haven't been to Memphis in a long time. But I feel like, most OU fans are going to be in Memphis. So Rendezvous on Fridays where I'm going to be at from 2 to 6. A lot of OU fans there. And then they have a party there, OU party, with the OU Alumni Association from 6 to 8 p.m. there. So Sooners in Memphis. Ole Miss fans are supposed to wear powder. On one of their website today, it said wear powder.
Okay.
I'm like, what color is powder blue? Duh. I guess they're going to be wearing I don't know
That'll
if they're
be cool.
I don't know if they're wearing their powder blue uniforms. I know they're wearing that blue camo helmets.
Yeah, that's right.
So, I don't know. I don't know if that
cool.
matches the powder blue helmet or not.
Chris in Tulsa with the correct take on the text line. Buddy, all I know is I don't give a crap about Oklahoma ties, how old, how young, what kind of offense. Just give me an OC that puts points on the board.
Yeah, Chris.
Yes
Who
and amen.
cares?
Here's the thing.
Who are we to sit here and, judge and say, well, I want to be better on offense, but I want it to look like this?
If you're going to sit there and scream, Brent Venables better not hire another OC with OU ties, then you yourself can't sit there and go, he doesn't pass enough for me, or, he's too old for me. No, hire the best guy for the job. And as another texter pointed out, shoot, I wouldn't care if Kurt Cignetti is 103. If he's 7-0, I want him.
We just made $5 more, by the way.
Oh, hello.
Brett Erickson, Super Chat on YouTube Live. This OC hire is going to be real important, or we're just going to be known as a softball school. Not that we don't love Patty, but BV has to get it right. Made $25 today. No big deal. Thank you, Brett. Appreciate that Super Chat there. I mean, I think we all know the situation right now. this OC hire is going to be very important. Yeah, I mean, Brent's job is going to heavily depend on the next offensive coordinator hire this offseason. There's no doubt about it. Does anyone really disagree with that at this point? Do you think the majority of the fan base believes that the offense next year is going to heavily dictate on how much longer Brent's here?
Yeah. Yes. I mean, 1,000%. Because right now, and this is a take I threw out there earlier today, Tyler, and just a casual conversation with a colleague. I think it's altogether possible that there is more raw talent on Oklahoma's defense in 2025 than there is right now in 2024. Now, is there going to be less experience? Certainly. But I think if we're talking like just the median caliber of athlete that's going to be on the field for Oklahoma defensively in 2025, obviously it's got to all gel and guys got to execute their roles the way that they have been for the Sooners here in 2024. But, I don't think this defense has hit its zenith in terms of what it can be. So much hinges upon this next OC hire and what you can get out of the offense next year. Because if you don't fix things offensively, Brent Venables will be out of a job.
Yeah. Jaden Jackson will anchor your defensive line next year.
Yep.
David Stone needs to take that next step for sure. Hopefully he does that. And Kip Lewis is going to be your dog at linebacker next year, but I like what I've seen from Lewis Carter. Like they're going to be good at linebacker next year. I mean, at least I think that they will. Lewis Carter, Kobe McKenzie there, and then you got Eli Bowen, who you may just throw him over there for 4 years essentially and just say,
no joke.
Get after it, man. So that is like there's not a whole lot of positive ways to swing what's happened up to this point, but you've had some young players on defense that look like they're going to be players for you for the next 3 to 4 years, which is nice.
Yeah, and to me, 3 guys that are flying heavily under the radar as far as what they're going to be next year for this defense: Grayson Halton, at defensive tackle, PJ Adibawara.
Big year
at
for
the
him.
edge. And he's an easy guy to forget about. He had a sack Saturday. He was the one that sacked Davis Bevel at the end of that football game. Yeah, I know. And then third one for me is Sammy Omasigo. He's done some real nice things.
I wish Sammy O would have took that one back to the house, but it wouldn't have mattered. I mean, the final score, OU still loses, but Sammy had a play on that one to take it back the other way.
Which one?
Was that not him over there on the sideline? Looked like he had a chance at that interception on Saturday to take it back the other way. Yeah, I believe that was Omasigo. Over there on the I think it was on the South Carolina sideline, maybe on like a third down.
I don't know. I might just be spacing completely. There's a lot that I blocked out from what happened on Saturday.
Pacifico Allen says, flights, great dinner spot in Memphis. You are always 2 blocks from danger. I'll see you in Oxford. I think I may be going there Friday. Allen, flights, I think that's what it is.
Yeah. Excellent point from Big Rich and OKC. Kendall Dolby's coming back too.
Yeah, man, he's such a good player. He's such a good player. And I hope that he's able to come back and be 100% and be his full self, because I think there's a lot to like there. 904 State of Florida. First ever text, by the way. So while I'm reading this, just picture this individual from Florida sending in their first ever text.
Oh, boy.
Saw a gentleman's club absolutely popping on a Sunday morning at 6 a.m. in Memphis. Surprising part was the quarter-mile long line at the food truck next to it. That's going to be Parker.
Listen.
I'm going to be driving to Oxford, 6 a.m. That's going to be Parker waiting in that food truck line after a fun night in Memphis.
Yeah, you listen, Tyler. I'm glad I'm not the one of the two of us that has to convince people to try and show up in Memphis this Friday, because I don't have many good things to say. I don't have any good things to say about that city.
I haven't visited there in a long time. We'll see what happens. Dude, Rendezvous is going to be a good time. There'll be a lot of OU fans there. I'm ready for this weekend. I'm looking forward to it. Gator says, Tyler, here's some hate against Ole Miss Rebels. Remember, #Spike was safe.
Facts.
Pretty terrible call.
Facts indeed. Also the Independence Bowl in 1999.
Yeah, I was at that one.
Yeah, the Y2K debacle.
Was at that one, and my mom's transmission in her Dodge Stratus went out on the side of the highway just minutes before Y2K happened. So it was all around a great night for the McComas family.
Man, what if
2 thumbs up?
What if the world had ended and you were on the side of the road in Shreveport, Louisiana, in a broken down Dodge Stratus?
Well, at least I wouldn't have had to endure the 2024 football season, huh? Maybe it was. Maybe I wish it would have ended that night. Keep an eye on Michael Boganowski. Yeah. A couple of texts said that. Absolutely, for sure.
Big Rich in OKC asked Parker, "What was that evil spirit town you stayed in at that hotel?" Oh yeah, that was Jackson, Mississippi, where my my college roommate was convinced that there were evil presences in the air at the hotel we stayed at.
So never stay at a hotel in Jackson, Mississippi.
That hotel has since been demolished, so maybe he was onto something. But I slept just fine that night.
Interesting. 405-651-3439 is the Knippelmeyer Chevrolet text line. Chris in Tulsa with a fantastic question, so good, I have no idea how to answer it or what the answer actually is. What's the game plan for blocking Walter Nolan?
Pray.
Prayer circle before each snap.
Or just form a prayer circle around Walter Nolan.
Who's the other guy? Is it Pegues? Is that how you say that guy's name?
Yes, J.J. Pegues.
Yeah. He's a
Chris
good player
Hardy.
Too.
Remember Chris Hardy?
I do remember Chris Hardy.
Uh-huh.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that Ole Miss front is really good. There will be no time on Saturday for Jackson Arnold to do anything. There will not be time for Jackson Arnold to take a 3-step drop more often than not. They're going to have to get the quick game going. It is their only hope.
Yeah. Well, hopefully at least one of these wide receivers are back. I'm not going to try to make any of you optimistic that – I mean, Britt did hint last night that maybe a couple of players could be back this week for this team. I don't know if that's a little gamesmanship there by Brent.
I'll say this. This is the first week, and I mentioned this last night on the board over at OUinsider.com. There was a conversation going on about it. This is the first week where I would say there is a legitimate chance that Deion Burks is back in action.
Man, that'd be nice.
It has not been feasible up until now. There is a chance he plays Saturday.
6 does have a little wiggle to him when he's out there. Not a lot of wiggle with this offense right now, but I think he gives you some things in the short, intermediate, and deep passing game that this offense is. I mean, hey, you get Burks back, and it's the Burks and Jordan show out there? Huh? Jacob Jordan and Deion Burks? What SEC defensive back? Who can cover that? Jacob Jordan out there putting on a show next to Deion Burks, huh? I'd love to see that. That's for sure.
This is a good analogy from Big Rich in OKC. Walter Nolan, ever seen an elephant run through a herd of cows? 2-star Los Angeles Sooners says, put 10 on him and laugh as he throws limp noodle effort blocking him.
Not funny, Lost City Sooner. Not funny. Come on.
Tony the 580 said, let's try not blocking him. They'll never expect it.
2025 recruiting rankings. Ohio State still with the number 1 class. A very wide margin for Ohio State in the number 1 overall class. Alabama sits with the number 2 overall class. LSU at 3, Georgia at 4, Auburn at 5, Texas at 6, Oklahoma at 7, Miami at 8, USC at 9, and Texas A&M at 10. Alabama has the number 2 class in the country right now, and they are already saying, "Oh, is our head coach on the hot seat out here? He doesn't look very good to me. We can't start to play we can't play good football."
I respect the fact that Kalen DeBoer had the gumption to accept the head coaching job at Alabama, because you knew that was going to happen very quickly. People were going to start when you're filling Nick Saban's shoes, it's never going to be good enough.
No. And we knew that from the beginning. But then you lose to Vanderbilt in week 1 or in year 1.
Yeah, well, to be fair, that Vanderbilt loss looks much more forgivable now than it did 3 weeks ago when it happened.
But I don't think that their fan base is forgiving him, regardless of what it looks like losing to Vanderbilt. 432 Sooner says, don't hate on Jordan, Tyler. At least he can catch. I'm not hating on Jordan. I'm his biggest fan.
Really? You're his biggest fan.
I told you yesterday.
There are a lot of texters that would fight you on that.
Yesterday, when we opened up the show, how did we open up the show yesterday at 2 o'clock? I said, forget the negative and the big stories out there. I want to tip of the cap to Jacob Jordan for what he did. Yes, I love you. They got to start him. If not start him, play him significant snaps. He's had the best single game by an OU wide receiver in an SEC football game. And frankly, statistically, it has not been that close. Play that kid, man. Play him. And hopefully Deion Burks is back as well. That didn't fix everything, but you're at least better at wide receiver if those two things happen. All right, that'll do it for Locked In. The Rush is coming up next. Keep it locked in the Ref.